Hello again, everybody. This is Steve Politi from the Star-Ledger, and as you'll notice today, I'm alone because Rutgers beat writer Tom Luicci is currently out getting his passport photo done because, as you know now, Rutgers is playing in the International Bowl, and Tom does not have a U.S. passport to get across the Canadian border. So he's out taking it now. I'm going to fill this application out for him while he's getting that done. Age, Tom was about 72 age. Occupation, I'm just going to put...
Is that class year or
I'm just going to put
age?
Scarlet Knight down for occupation. Is that a problem? Scarlet Knight.
Well, just put it down, when you put down the income for it, make sure it's very low.
No, we joke about this, but this is really probably not funny for the Scarlet Knights, expecting a lot more in the International Bowl, end up for the second straight year in a minor bowl, despite a record that, that you could make the case where you could go someplace better. Do they have a case this year, you think?
It's borderline. I mean, you can understand because there's 3 other 9-win teams ahead of them. The best they can do is 8 wins. You got West Virginia going to the BCS. Unfortunately, the way the pecking order and the way the Big East is arranged, with the bowl lineup, this is what they're relegated to. There's really, unless the one thing is that bowls generally like matchups and they like TV ratings, and that would be the one thing that Rutgers has going for it that might supersede the record. But it's awfully hard to jump 3 9-win teams, and you have 3 of them in South Florida, Cincinnati, and Connecticut.
Well, especially when you lost to the top 2 teams in the league by a combined 40 points, and when you lost at home to Cincinnati, another team that's ahead of you, and South Florida lost to Connecticut, and South Florida beat West Virginia. So that's a good victory for them. I mean, it's hard to make a. Last year, I thought they had a really legitimate case when they're 10-2 and they're shuffling off to the Texas Bowl. This year, I think it's a little harder. Right,
and as we just mentioned, of the top 4 teams in the league that are also going to bowls, Rutgers went 1-3 against them. Right. So when you do that, if you're not at least 2-2, this is what happens. You go to the International Bowl.
Exactly, and we're assuming that Rutgers would be 8-4. Not a safe assumption playing Louisville on the road. 2 years ago, they went down there, lost 56-5. This was the game, of course, the famous dancing on the Cardinal at center field that got everybody in Louisville angry. I mean, is this going to be any different this year? We still haven't seen this team win a big November road game.
We haven't seen this team win a Big East November road game since 1995.
So any November road game at this point.
So, winning a Big East November road game would be big, and as long as they haven't moved the Cardinal to the end zone, Rutgers should get in there a few times, you would think, knowing Louisville's defense. But I think this could be a fun game. I just don't know how to get a read on it, only because everybody keeps saying that both these teams have something to play for. I don't see it. Right. Is the motivation for Louisville to get to 500 after they were preseason top 10? That's a tough one. Is the motivation for Rutgers to get to 8 because win or lose they're going to the International Bowl in Toronto? I don't know. I mean, I would just think if they go out and play this game the way it should be played, which is to have fun and let both offenses go at it, I think it could be a fun game.
Right, and I guess when you think about this game last year, couldn't be a bigger game in school history. Both undefeated. The atmosphere outside the stadium is just a complete contrast this year to what it was last year, when it was really a program-defining moment.
There's no question. It went from the most meaningful game in school history to a game that doesn't matter at all as far as the postseason or anything. The irony is, too, is that if you remember in the preseason, Brian Brom, Louisville quarterback, and Ray Rice were both promoted as Heisman candidates, and they've actually statistically lived up to expectations, and neither one's a Heisman candidate. So that tells you what kind of year it's been for both Rutgers and Louisville, in terms of the team success, because, Ray's having a great year. He could break the school record again. I think we'll see Brian Brom go over 4,000 yards passing for the season in this game. That's about all you could ask for these guys, and yet both these teams are struggling. Right
now, I'm not feeling good about this one. I think Rutgers is going to lose by 3 touchdowns. They haven't proven to me they can beat a team of even Louisville struggling on the road. Your thoughts on the outcome of this one?
I would agree with you. I have a feeling that Louisville is going to find a way to win, especially if the way they came back against West Virginia. They could have quit in the West Virginia game. They were down. They came back. They forced a 31-31 tie. I see Louisville outscoring Rutgers in something like a 34-27 kind of game.
Right. Now, if anybody from immigration is watching, please rush Tom Luicci's passport application, because I can't go up there alone and do this video north of the border.
Please.
And then hopefully it'll be me, you, Rocky Bullwinkle, Celine Dion, and Wayne Gretzky. It'll be a good time. That's it for this week. We'll see you in Toronto.